Dragsters, trucks, and Guardians of the Galaxy, this time on the Junkyard Joust. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda. 25 more cars and 5 teams ready to compete in this match. Let's take a closer look. Guardians of the Junkyard have been in a couple of seasons. They've never made it to the finals though. Could this be their season? Olive Drab Onslaught's got a brand new lineup and they're looking fierce. The Gallant Eterna and Soylent Green are back. Sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Truculent have a brand new lineup except for the service bed truck, which is back in action. And the Worthington Dragsters are back. Dragsters haven't had much luck in the joust, but that could change with the right lineup. The Olive Drab team transported into the junkyard by this Chevy C60. That truck is sponsored by Jedi. And now we're about ready to joust. Jeff?
Oh, hey, hi. As an expert in chaos theory, I believe Junkyard Joust is my true calling.
Let's joust. Round 1. We're going to start off with Drax from Guardians, sponsored by Sean's Toy Room. Randomized running order is up. Drabsters are going last. That should make for some good undercutting opportunities. The service bed truck, the starter for Truculent, sponsored by PriceX Private Parts. 95-gram smash, and Drax immediately eliminated off the back of Evil Weevil. Thrown forward almost into the safety area. Flips over, done. First elimination. First up for Soylent Green, Bruce Wayne's car, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. Bruce Wayne's car slots into position. Could be a little bit of a ramp on the back of that thing. We'll see if it works out. It's even a little bit up on the service bed bumper. 70 Ford Mustang for the Onslaught. That's got a low front, sponsored by Tribble's Troublemakers. That low front does indeed prevent it from going off the back of Bruce Wayne, and it ends up curbside, which is not much better than if it had jumped off. The 23 Leah Pruitt Top Fuel Dragster, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Dragster just barely gets underneath that Mustang, flips it right over, easy. Nice takedown by the Dragster and a loss for Onslaught. Here comes Star-Lord, sponsored by the Miskatonic Automotive Club. Big hit from Star-Lord, and it forces that Dragster all the way underneath Bruce Wayne's car, tosses it off the track, and look at the Dragster bobble a little bit, slide to the left, but somehow stay relatively balanced and stay alive. Custom 62 Chevy, sponsored by Pick Your Sticker. Custom Chevy slams into a hard line, bounces back a little bit, Star-Lord maintaining composure. Smuggler with Baby Cookie as a passenger, sponsored by Sicken. Direct hit on the back of the Chevy, but nobody gets thrown off the track except for Baby Cookie. Goes for a little ride off into the dirt. And now it looks like that Dragster has settled down into an upright position. 69 Dodge Charger Daytona, sponsored by Farty Marty. Daytona hits a solid line. Nothing going on there, except did something break? Like something flew off. Oh yeah, chunk of stuff off the back of the Chevy. The Rug Doctor Dragster, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Rug Doctor gets right underneath the Daytona, but the Daytona does a nice little flip off of its teammate and gets back upright again. A nice save. Yondu for the Guardians, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Big hit by Yondu, starts a pile up on the track, and it looks like that custom Chevy is in the toughest position. Next car that comes down is probably going to dislodge it, and it's going to be a fellow member of Truculent, 71 Ford F-250, sponsored by Chone. Solid hit from the F-250, and the custom Chevy goes over. Elimination for Truculent. Yondu goes curbside. Here comes something that looks like a car, I guess. GLASNER, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. GLASNER slams into the line, gets some action on Yondu. Yondu flips around though and maintains balance. Star-Lord getting pushed up a little bit up front. 59 Chevy Apache, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. The Apache pushes into the line. Star-Lord makes a nice recovery, almost flips over, but gets stopped by Bruce Wayne's car and lives. That was a close one. The 71 Mustang Funny Car, 82 grams, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. The Mustang funny car does not bounce back at all, just keeps pushing forward. No eliminations, but the line has been shaken up a little bit, and it looks like Rug Doctor is going to try to get underneath the service bed. Rocket for the Guardian, sponsored by Judy Collins. Rocket hits the line. It is still relatively solid, but Rug Doctor does manage to get underneath service bed a little bit. The 02 Chevy Silverado, sponsored by Jesus. Silverado finally pushes the Apache over the edge, and the Apache is out. Gets blocked by the Daytona, but I don't think it would have recovered anyway. 31 Doozy, man, this thing has seen better days. Sponsored by Milo's Motor Menagerie. The Doozy piles into the line, but it is just firmed up now and solid. Rug Doctor very slowly creeping up on the service bed. The 85 Camaro, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. Camaro hits the line, the Doozy stays planted, and now the funny car's going up. Rocket managing to get underneath that heavy thing. Speaking of funny cars, it's Funny Car, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. The funny car slices and dices the line, gets 2 eliminations, 1 friendly fire unfortunately, but look at the Chevy hit a 6 as it is thrown into the air, a heavy car too, and it just can't quite make the recovery. The Silverado and the Doozy make pretty impressive escapes. The other funny car, though, looking pretty close to 45. One of the Klingons has hopped on board Groot, sponsored by Ripash. Groot knocks the He-Man funny car sideways. The funny car keeps it level, though, and the Klingon just kind of slides out of the seat. Right underneath that funny car, not a super safe place to hang out. 75 Sierra Grand 15 Custom, sponsored by Jason's Bits Boys. Fanta truck hits what's basically become a pile on the track, can't go anywhere. Should be interesting to see if the back of that vehicle has any effect on cars coming down. Next car coming down, the Gallant Eterna, sponsored by Emo Dingo. The Gallant smashes into the Fanta truck, bounces off, and makes a veteran recovery. Rocket also just about escapes the track. 64 Ford Econoline, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. Econoline, a big smash to the Fanta truck, throws it overboard, and that thing goes sideways. And now Rocket is tipping, couldn't make good on his escape, and this could be trouble. Final car of the round, Drag Strip Duel, sponsored by Reaper EOD. The Dragster heads on top of the pile, but can't do any damage. Groot staying alive, but possibly at the cost of his teammate Rocket, who looks to be beyond the 45-degree angle. We'll have to take a measurement. Also taking a measurement on the Fanta truck, and it looks like it settled down just enough on that last hit to be counted as in. And it looks like Rocket is definitely gonna be beyond 45 degrees and will be out. That's gonna be 8 eliminations on the round. Olive Drab Onslaught lost 3. They are the biggest losers of that round. Taking a look at the aftermath, Olive Drab down to 2. Guardians of the Junkyard down to 3. Everybody else at 4. Guardians and Onslaught gonna be up against the ropes here with 3 teams who have 4 remaining. Round 2, here we go. Truculent got the toss. They will start us off with the service bed truck as usual. Truculent's record is 7th place in the finals for season 4. Soylent Green have never made it to the finals, but there's always a first time. Ooh, that's not gonna help. Rug Doctor Dragster gets right underneath the Doozy, flops it over easy, and it is gonna be the first elimination of round 2. Rug Doctor gonna go for that service bed again. Or maybe not, as Star-Lord wrestles it off the track, pushing it almost sideways. Nice hit there, though it does leave Star-Lord vulnerable. Ford Econoline mixes things up, actually starting to push the Doozy back right side up. We'll see if that can happen. Rug Doctor is very close to eliminated. Oh, and the center of gravity of that Fanta truck probably prevented it from being stable on that hit, and it just kind of slides off the track. And there is why you don't want to be in that position. Fanta truck flipped over from that hit. Cookie flopping out of the car as Smuggler bounces off the Econoline. The Leah Pruitt Dragster sneaks underneath Smuggler, flips it over sideways, though it's still on the track. Still going to be tough to recover from that position. And Groot will finish the job. Smuggler flipped off the track and out. The Klingon falls on top of Cookie. Not very polite. And that Dragster manages to get underneath the Econoline. The Dodge Charger finishes off its only other surviving teammate. Not what you want to happen, especially when you only got 2 cars left. And now the Dragster is just about sideways. The F-250 hits the line, and somehow the Dragster gets back upright again, manages to find some space. Groot gets popped up, but is still right side up at the moment. The GLASNER hits the line, it bends but doesn't break, and Groot tries to back away. Drag Strip Duel punches the line but can't get anything to happen, no undercutting either, and the line continues to back down the track. Yonda forces the Dragster underneath GLASNER, and GLASNER is in a very easily tippable position. And that is exactly what happens on the Silverado's hit. GLASNER flips over sideways. Pretty much no coming back from that. The hit by the Gallant Eterna pushes Yonda forward a little bit. Final car of the round, the funny car coming down. Get ready. A massive plunge from the funny car, and 2 vehicles eliminated on that huge hit. That hit actually propelling Gallant up to a height of 6 before it crashes down. The Gallant can't quite recover a bad bounce, and the Dragster gets tipped over sideways. And recent arrival to the junkyard, Barb, she fell over because that hit was just that big. I'm sure Mr. Bean will run to her assistance. 8 eliminations in round 2, and maybe a 9th. Gonna take a measurement on Rug Doctor exactly at the 45-degree angle. So no elimination there. I got bad for Soylent Green fans. The whole remainder of the team was eliminated in that round. That is tough. Taking a look at the aftermath, Soylent Green will be our first team out. Onslaught down to 1, Guardian steady at 2, Truculent at 3, and Dragster's at 3. Looks like Barb is back on her feet. I don't know what Mr. Bean is doing with his leg there, but it seems like she's into it.
I was hoping you could help me out.
Round 3, here we go. One more team gets eliminated, and this is over. We're starting off with the Leah Pruitt Dragster. The Dragsters may be thinking the back of that vehicle could be a bit of a ramp. Ooh, the service bed truck, not bothered by that at all. Just knocks that Dragster flying sideways off the track. Will it stay in that position? I guess we'll see. Star-Lord gets a nice hit in on the service bed truck, but can't tip it over. It goes sideways. It's in a tough spot, though, for sure. A massive smash from the Daytona, and Star-Lord splits in half. The car has been destroyed. The Daytona just split it in half and eliminated the part that counts. The service bed truck escaped. And here comes the Rug Doctor Dragster trying to take down the Daytona and end this match. Does not have any success, at least not yet. Still kind of hard to believe that Soylent Green was totally eliminated last round. The F-250 may have just finished the job, knocking the Daytona over sideways. And if it stays that way, this match is done. Yonda slaps the Ford F-250 around, knocks it sideways, does not eliminate it. Debris going everywhere. Yonda has to stay alive here too to protect the Guardians. Here comes the funny car, and wow, no eliminations. In fact, what has happened is the Daytona is back to a right side up position. That is not what the Dragsters wanted to happen here, but at least the funny car escaped. And a swift hit from the Silverado, and now the Daytona is eliminated. It's been back and forth, but that will definitively finish the match as it was the last car of the round. Guardians barely staying alive. Yonda, it was a close call. And with the wreckage of Star-Lord on the field, they needed Yonda in this. There are your 3 eliminations. Guardians went down to 1, Truculent still solid at 3, Dragster's down to 2, and the Onslaught eliminated from the match. Truculent's gonna get the bonus action. That is great news for them. Those bonus actions can be clutch for getting your team into the finals if you use them right. Make sure you stay tuned until the end. There's a showcase of everybody's home Junkyard Joust tracks that I want to show you. Here are all the teams that have made it into the main event so far. And now, as you might know if you are in the Junkyard Joust Discord, a lot of people run their own jousts at home, sometimes with videos, sometimes with just pictures and text commentary. I love all the variety in all these tracks. It's really awesome that everybody is doing this on their own. I love all the clever variations that everybody is doing, and I'm just really happy that people are having so much fun jousting at home. At some point, I'm hoping to put out a guide on how to set up your own Junkyard Joust track. It'll have a simple setup, and it'll also have a more complex setup if that's something you're interested in, but I'll get that done as soon as I can. Feel free to send me pictures and we'll put them in future episodes. I absolutely love that everybody is doing this. It's just so cool. Just a quick message to everybody who's entering the Junkyard Joust Custom Tournament. I'm extending the deadline for anybody who is still working on their teams. You've got until the end of the month. With one exception, I need to know that you are going to send me a team so I can draw up a schedule and figure out the heats. Email me at junkyardjoust@gmail.com if you're still sending me a team, and just let me know that you're sending it and what the name of the team is. I'll start posting pictures of all the teams people have sent me in Discord very soon. Well, thanks for watching the Joust. We'll see you in a week. And as always, thanks for watching.